Welcome to the Upshot Podcast by Homely, where we invite you into honest conversations with entrepreneurs, challengers, and long-standing legends shaping the real estate industry today. Today we get to interview Nicholas Skapoulas from Nicholas Skapoulas Real Estate, who again has been in the industry for a very long time and is a very big supporter of Homely as well, which we obviously appreciate. Nick's career has been extensive and he started back in real estate in 1988, believe it or not, and was one of the first traineeships with the REIV, which is very exciting, so we can certainly cover off on that. He's also an Inner West resident as well, so we look forward to getting his thoughts on the local marketplace in his area and having a good discussion about that. Now, obviously with these podcasts, we like to start off with a bit about the property market and what's going on in your local market. How are you finding things out there at the moment? What's the lay of the land?
Oh, look, it's still, buyer demand is still quite high. We're still at record levels for inquiries, which is fantastic. It's also relevant to the stock levels and the quality of property you've got. So I think it's all relative. But you may break it down with, A grade, B grade and C grade. C grade apartments and townhouses have, softened a little bit, but still active, but price driven. But A grade houses in good locations, incredible demand, great prices. They really haven't dropped off. They've probably gone to another level. And probably what's helped that is the lack of, or the scarcity of trades and builders, and the consumers just scared about what's going to come. So they prefer to spend extra on a fully renovated house. Yeah.
Makes sense. I know that, a lot of people that I've spoken to are terrified about engaging trades and services at the moment, just on the pure fear that it may not get done or it's going to cost them 5 times more than what they thought. So I guess that makes the logical sense that the renovated properties would do quite well if there's all that fear going on in the background.
Yeah, which makes sense. And you know what? People they're not handy. They just want a home, and they don't want to be caught up in the issues and the problems. Is anyone at fault or is no one at fault? Probably likewise for both. No one wants an issue, so they prefer to take the safe path and get one renovated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I was actually looking at a place in Kingsville a few weeks ago, and that campaign, I think it had about 18 or 19 groups through, and ended up passing in at auction. I was just so confused. So, are there general indicators for how a campaign's going? Are they in a normal space, or are you looking for different things to see if things are on track or off track?
There's probably a few elements to that. The urgency isn't as much because people are scared with the banks. They're worried about, is the bank going to support them? The bank's giving pre-approvals, but they are really emphasising put in a finance clause. We still want to get the valuation because everything's unconditional, subject to that last little bit. Some auctions are really successful and some are failing, but selling quickly afterwards. And likewise, the private sale market is just as strong as well. They don't necessarily have to go all the way. They can sell before. And the reality is the goal is exactly the same for a vendor and a purchaser. It's all about price and what that agent negotiates, that because they want to buy as a buyer, the seller wants to sell and get as much as he can. It's that agent being able to accommodate that transaction. Because at the end of the day, we're negotiators. We put a marketing plan in place and advertise on Homely.
Yes.
And
where does come from? Yeah,
absolutely. And then just get an end result that's satisfactory for both people. And 99% of the time, both are happy and the outcome's great. But the auction process, there's no urgency, so they don't need to go and bid if they don't have to.
Are you recommending to your clients to go to auction at the moment, or are you leaning more towards private sale in the current climate?
I think we take each one on its own merit. Some owners want to control the space, some don't care and want to run with it. So you can go either way and flip a coin, Ben. There's nothing worse, like you mentioned, that auction where you have a campaign for 4 weeks and, potentially hasn't been handled 100% where you get the right outcome. And to fail at auction is bad. And 9 times out of 10, there's nothing wrong with the property. Maybe just not been handled right and been given the right advice to get it over the line beforehand, because we're in a hot area. The inner west is really thumping. No shortage of inquiries, no shortage of demand. And really, there's only two reasons why it's not going to sell. You've either got a bad agent or you've got the wrong price.
Yeah, yeah. So are you picking up any expired listings at the moment? Is that part of the strategy?
Oh, listen, we don't love it because it's not really good business. We want people to sell their homes, whether it's us or anyone else.
Yeah.
Just get the right advice, get on the right track. I mean, there's a lot of good agents in this area. We're the best ones, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And there is some bad ones, like anything. That's just real. Get the right advice, and I hope they sell. But if they don't sell, reach out. We'll guide you on the right direction. It's not just about a commission. We want harmony. We want happiness in our area because we're here for the long haul. It's not just a sale today. As you said, I've been here since '87, so I've seen it all. These cycles are going to come and go. Interest rates are going to come and go. And, do good and you'll get good.
Absolutely. And in terms of interest rates, where are they going? What's your thoughts on it?
Who knows? Spin the wheel. I like Bill Evans. I really follow him well. And, he's predicting one more, whether or not it's tomorrow, being the first Tuesday or next month. He believes it will, but there's so much uncertainty around it. Inflation, hopefully, is pulling back. It looks like it's pulling back. So I think we will get one more, but that'll be it.
Yeah.
And then it'll just pull back.
It seems like most of the pricing has priced in another interest rate rise anyway, so I don't think it'll have too much of an impact on the overall market.
No.
In terms of advice you'd give to any agent, whether it be sales or rental agents at the moment, obviously tough conditions out there on both fronts. Is there any bit of advice that you would give to either party at the moment?
Oh, yeah. I say don't be scared, work hard, fail sooner rather than later because you're going to make some mistakes. It's okay to do it. And if you do, fix them. Read, get your knowledge, and read negotiating books, books on ethics, or listen to podcasts, listen to marketing people, and you'll be fantastic. But stick at it because you need 12 months of hard work before you start to see success.
Yeah, yeah. And is there any advice that you would give to vendors at the even buyers? So we'll talk about the buyers and the vendors. What advice would you give to both parties in the current climate?
More vendors, be diligent in your approach. The highest quoting agent is not always the best agent. So the agent who quotes you the biggest price and the lowest fee, there's some clues there. They're not the right agent. Get an agent who's got experience, gives you comparable sales, gives you chunky stuff because there's enough data to show you exactly where you want to be. Greed is always a massive factor for both, vendors, and it's natural to think I'm going to get more than what my house is worth. But listen to your agent. If you trust them and you like them, give them the opportunity to show you what they can do. Don't focus on, your lowest price. Focus on the buyer's highest price, and together you'll work it out and get a satisfactory result. Buyers, if you've got a pre-approval, don't waste it, use it. And I'm not an economist, but I believe the minute these interest rates stabilise, we're going to get another boom. It can't keep going where builders have stopped building. We've got a growing population. They're going to let people into Australia tenfold. I think this year there's 900,000 approved. They've got to live somewhere. So the rental situation is going to get worse, and so is the buying situation.
It's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Particularly with all these builders going bust now. There's no confidence on that front. So, I think that's going to prop up a lot of markets, the rental and the sales front anyway, particularly in the inner city markets. But we're going to finish up fairly soon, and we always finish off with 2 rapid fire questions, which we've already answered one of them. So I'll move on to the next one. If you had $1 million, or if I give you $1 million and you're acting on my behalf, what are you going to do with it in the current market? Where are you buying? What are you doing for me?
I love Footscray. Footscray is a hot spot. I still think it's got legs. Anything along the Maribyrnong River, Cowper Street's Hyde Street. Go and buy there. If you see something, buy it because I'll make you money. I reckon I'll double your money in the next 7-8 years.
Oh, very good. Now, we'll preface that with this is not financial advice, but
Yes,
I like
not
the
financial.
confidence.
Yeah. I'm not an economist. I'll give you any financial advice. It's
Exactly. What's so great about Footscray? Walk me through it. I'm not really too familiar with it. What are some of the highlights?
Footscray is just it's gentrified so much. It's changing the bars, the cafes, the restaurants. I mean, the Vietnamese influence is amazing. Sure. The Footscray market's incredible. And with the new Western distributor going through, the government is pouring big amounts of money into that Maribyrnong River precinct. There's a beautiful bike and walk path leading straight into the city and docklands, away from the roads. So Footscray Road is getting a massive beautification. So all the heavy artillery is coming off the roads. So it'll become an amazing suburb. I mean, Francis Street is again on my watch list. I'll be looking at Francis Street because there's no more trucks there in the 18 months to come. And there's a lot happening in Footscray with the parks, the school, the hospital, the biggest hospital in the virtually southern hemisphere, being built now. I think there's 8 cranes. It's never to be seen in Footscray to be 8 cranes on one side. So that it's pretty special.
Yeah, very good. Well, that sounds like there's plenty going on, and I'm sure the money will flow with all that, investment into infrastructure and the surrounds. So,
it sure would.
Absolutely. Well, look, thank you so much for joining us today, Nicholas. I've certainly picked up a lot of value from this, and I am a big believer in customer service and putting the customer first, and that's how you built your business off the back of that mantra, and you've done very, very well in your marketplace. So very well done to you. Thank you again for joining us, and I look forward to catching up with you very, very soon.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks to you and Homely.